I think we can make a start and hopefully other folks will join us as we proceed. Okay, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, partners, and friends, and welcome to today's international webinar on the Participate with RECIRCULATE program with the theme Learning from African Women in Research and Innovation. And fundamentally, we'll be engaging with very, very impressive women to learn a bit more about their work in research and innovation, challenges, opportunities, and ways that individuals can expand or increase their professional careers, especially in the research and innovation space. I think the importance of innovation in Africa is linked to different predictions. Institutions like the African Union specify clearly that they see innovation as a crucial factor necessary for Africa to achieve its future success and to solve its developmental challenges. See, but the truth is that for this to happen, serious efforts must be made to find new and inventive ways of improving standards of living on the continent. And presently, the Association of African Universities, AAU, has been championing university industry collaborations, and they've done this by organizing different workshops, leadership programs that kind of helps to bridge the gaps or increase linkages between academia and industry. And ultimately, the idea is that as this increases and grows, the resultant effect and impact is in increasing research impacts through innovative methods or ways, and so that African institutions and individuals or researchers are able to solve practical, environmental, or societal challenges. And despite this openness of universities and ultimately government and businesses, the institutions also are deeply embedded in this patriarchal system that seems to kind of determine that participation in knowledge and creation is generated only for the purpose of resource mobilization. But ultimately, the question is, how mainstream on a gender basis is research and innovation? Are the challenges that male researchers or male innovators face on the continent the same with their female counterparts? Are there specific, unique local contexts that makes it more difficult for female academics, female innovators to thrive in their spaces? What are the constraints in participating in research settings in Africa? And ultimately, it's about understanding how these frameworks work. But I think instead of making it theoretical, it is best we learn from women who have thrived in their own areas, their specific focus areas or specialty, but ultimately learning from them with respect to the challenges they faced, how they've been able to navigate these challenges, what are the lessons and recommendations, so folks in the room can understand how to adopt and or adapt these situations to their own challenges. And ultimately, all of these has been kind of put together on the back of a Lancaster project that's been funded by the Global Challenges Research Fund, the RECIRCULATE project, which is £7 million capacity building project. And also alongside that is the Actuate project, which is a £700,000 waste to energy demonstrator plan development project. And these projects have been obviously driving capacity building across the continent and the components of the circular water economy or waste to energy food nexus. And I think till now, we've trained in excess of over 300 young African professionals across 10 to 20 African countries. Now, today, our focus is on engaging with African women, but also as part of the initiative of RECIRCULATE, a program called the Women Innovators Network in Africa, WINA, was formed as a multicultural, multi-gender network that revolves around female leadership networking. And the network aims to provide peer support, mentoring, leadership support, and coaching for emerging leaders across Africa. Until now, the network has addressed different objectives, which include improving the visibility of African women innovators, helping and supporting peer support networks, and identifying and affiliating with organizations that have similar interests with the WINA agenda. And we'll be hearing about WINA today. But today's workshop, basically, of webinar, is to highlight these lessons learned, learn from specific individuals who have done incredibly in their own specific areas of focus, but also hoping to encourage knowledge exchange, increase opportunities for new stakeholders to engage with the project for legacy and sustainability. And so, on that note, it gives me absolute pleasure to invite our first speaker, who actually will give us a clear picture of the WINA initiative or the WINA experience. I think it's very, very important for us to understand that the WINA experience or the WINA network has been designed to support African women researchers and innovators across a gender mainstreaming basis. And so I want to invite none other but the coordinator of WINA. She's one of the, if you like, research development professional on the RECIRCULATE project, but supervising and managing the WINA project with other partners. And obviously, WINA is under the work package of entrepreneurship and innovation on RECIRCULATE. Afua is interested in projects that seek to promote gender equality in higher education, innovation, and development. And she's currently doing a PhD on the title, The Role of Gender in University-Industry Collaboration in Sub-Saharan Africa. It gives me absolute pleasure to welcome Afua Owusu-Kwarteng to give us an overview of WINA. Over to you, Afua.
Thank you so much for the presentation. I'll go ahead and turn my video on now, and then I'll try to have my PowerPoint shared with everybody else. So good morning, everybody. As Akan mentioned, I will be talking about the Women Innovators Network for Africa, which we simply say WINA. As rightly said, WINA evolved out of the RECIRCULATE project. And as many of us will know, the RECIRCULATE project is an international collaboration between Lancaster University and with partners in Ghana, Nigeria, Malawi, Zambia, Botswana, and Ghana, and Kenya as well. And this RECIRCULATE project aims to develop collaborations that can help to address some of Africa's pressing environmental problems, with a particular emphasis on water. So WINA evolved out of RECIRCULATE to promote women's involvement in socioeconomic development. And this is in the area of either entrepreneurship or research or innovation. And as we will see today with the discussions, we will find out how WINA seeks to promote women's activities in Africa. So you would ask, what really is WINA? Well, WINA is a women-focused and multicultural network. And this initiative was launched on the 11th of April 2019 at Kitwe, Zambia. And the primary aim of the network is to focus on co-creating a network across Africa to promote female leadership and networking. The network also aims to provide peer support that is specifically mentoring and then also leadership support, coaching and training for emerging female leaders across Africa. I'll show you a glimpse of how WINA started. And this, to me, is everything that the network represents. You see that on the board, there are ideas of people's ideas, what they wanted women's improvement and women's involvement in Africa should look like. And WINA came out of these very ideas the discussions that we got from people from across Africa, their thoughts, their experiences, their skill sets, their expertise, what the network should look like. And on the day, you see on the left-hand side, a picture of a few women who began the WINA network. And you could see the passion with which everybody in the picture smiling showed how essential it is that women came together to promote an initiative as this. For a network that spans across Africa, one would ask, how are you able to keep in touch? How are you able to get everyone involved? How are you able to ensure that everyone is a part of such a network? And when I started initially, we began these monthly online discussions on WhatsApp. So we brought up topics that the women were very particular about and what the issues they wanted to address. And then we had these conversations. And out of it, you could tell people the willingness for people to share their experiences. And although different women, some of these experiences were very different, we've had opportunities to host activities like something like the WINA TEDx. And we themed that as a date with the power ladies. So we will learn more about these women. But also we have had women also undertake the RECIRCULATE residency program, where individuals get selected and the opportunity to learn more from Lancaster University and other industries or other institutions in the UK. We've also had opportunities to have WINA networking events in Zambia, for instance, where we met together just to discuss, to try to bring together new members and old members together, just to ensure that everybody was on the same page. This is not done yet. These are activities that have been done. And like most other activities or even organizations, we have also been affected by COVID. But we still aim to have a lot more to come. We still aim to have country-focused and women-centered webinars that discuss women's issues and issues that are central to women's development in Africa and also across the globe. Also, we are aiming to promote a WINA buddy scheme. As I initially mentioned, WINA seeks to promote a mentoring program. So the WINA buddy scheme forms this form of mentoring initiative. There is also the activity that is still in the pipeline, where there is a stimulating entrepreneurial thinking workshop that we are hoping to implement for women who are a part of the WINA network. We're also hoping to implement a WINA summit somewhere in the future. So you may ask, there are many women's networks. What is the underlying difference, or what is the striking difference about WINA as a network? One of the things that I can say that just as with the uniqueness of the RECIRCULATE project, the WINA initiative or the WINA network brings together women who are both in academia and business. And for me, I believe that this is central to the activities of the network. So even when it is webinars that we are hosting, even when it is discussions, to be able to get the different perspectives from these different sectors are crucial. So we've had something like the Instagram live chat, where we have looked at how entrepreneurship could be influential in promoting the SGDs from a female entrepreneur's perspective. And even when it comes to leadership, we look at it, what are the opportunities for leadership, or what are the issues of leadership from a person who is in business and also a person who is in academia. So if there is anything that is unique with the RECIRCULATE project as well as the WINA network, I believe that it will be that knowledge exchange and learning between academia and business. And to show this, we had a date with the power ladies, where these women with their different background experiences held an event where we had women and men from the management school in Lancaster and other several institutions attend this Date with the Power Ladies, a form of WINA TEDx. And you can tell that the experiences and the impression that these women left is second to none. So for instance, one Dr. Chair said that, I thought I knew what entrepreneurism was until meeting them. We have seen the dragons then, and being an academic often involves a bit of entrepreneurial attitude. But the bravery, the resilience, and industry of these women was just on another level. Every woman had an amazing story to tell of entrepreneurism, strength, and determination, all infused with friendship, family, and compassion. For her, it gave her a new perspective of authentic women leadership. So this, I believe, is what makes the WINA network stands out. Out of these conversations and out of these discussions, these women had the opportunity to have a conversation with the Lancaster Entrepreneur in Residence manager, out of which our very own Sunshine, affectionately known as Sunshine, Miss Sylvia Mwansa, the woman behind the SBM Investments Limited in Zambia, became an entrepreneur in residence. These are opportunities out of which the WINA network offers. Then I will come to the issue of Glenda, the story of Glenda. Glenda being from industry, the mining woman of the year in Zambia in 2019, was part of the WINA RECIRCULATE residency. And out of there, Glenda had the opportunity to meet Tanya Mulesa, who owns Cleverstein, which is a recyclable leather shoe company. Glenda thought of what it was with this shoe company, as she also had seen a similar event at Chingola Leather Cluster, which is run by the Konkola Mines where she works. Glenda thought that this will be very instrumental in shaping the Chingola Leather Cluster. So together we realized that Glenda had put in a lot of story, a lot of work to have this achieved. You can read more about Glenda's story, and maybe if you are interested in something related to that, you could contact her. But you can find that on the RECIRCULATE blog, where she tells her own story of putting theory into practice. And this will take me back to the issue of saying that this is what makes WINA stand out, the opportunity to bring people in industry and in academia together. Then we'll have our own Dr. Bokani Meteng, who is one phenomenal woman in Zambia. She works in Botswana as an academic. And during Bokani's residency, one of the things that she has been really focused on is how to induct young women in science. At the time, we had done some research with Regina Honu, who is from Soronko Academy in Ghana, who was also taking up initiatives related to women in science. Bokani had an initial contact with Regina. And these are some of the benefits and the advantages of a network like WINA. I'll come to the Forward Ladies. One of the people who have been instrumental in the WINA network has been the CEO of Forward Ladies, which is a huge network in the UK. Griselda Togobo is a part of the WINA network. And out of this, Griselda has tried to leverage the networks and the social capital within Forward Ladies to some of these women. She has created a unique WINA power circle for women in the WINA network to sort of contact other individuals across the globe. So it is not just about women in Africa, but also women in Africa and women across the world. And out of our relationship and our contact and our networking with Griselda, myself and a few other women had the opportunity to visit the Great Escape, which is owned by Hannah, who was actually the Millennium. She won an award for being the best entrepreneur in the UK. We had the opportunity to learn about her business, and also some of these gives ideas of what it is one can take out of such. Could such an instrument be created in Africa? Could such an innovation or an innovative activity could be done in Africa? These are some of the benefits and the beauty of the WINA network. So, if anything of any of these, you found yourself in any of these, or you believe that the WINA network is for you, which I believe would be for everybody most people who are a part of this webinar today, and you are interested, these are the driving aims of the network. Are you someone who is working in entrepreneurship or science, technology, economics, maths, management? Do you have a passion to become an agent of change, either at the individual level or even within your institution or even the wider community that you belong to? Are you willing to learn? Are you willing to co-share your knowledge and skills? Do you think that the WINA network is for you, and are you willing to support their objectives? Please get in touch, or if otherwise, you can leave your contact and then we will get in touch with you. And one of the things I can say is that the membership ranges from the opportunity to be a power lady, to be a country representative, to be a full member, or even if you think that you would just want to be an associate member. These are areas you could see and see if you fit into either of these membership categories. One thing that I can say is that I have ridden on the wings of women. Because of them, I have been able to touch the skies. It will be an act of ingratitude to believe that women are their own enemies, because we are not. And I think that when it comes to women networks, these are some of the issues that people are concerned about. One thing I can assure you is that women are powerful, and so is the WINA network. So, what would you get from the WINA network? The opportunity to meet these women, many of them, different women from different backgrounds, women from different institutions, women with different sets of skills and expertise, women who are phenomenal in their own ways, women who are wonderful in every aspect. And what would be the end goal? To say that from a network that started with ideas of what it is that we envision, one of the core is that we rise by lifting others. What are we seeking to change as a network? We are aiming to change the Google images of the African woman. So what I will leave with you today is, as you would take the call, if you are an academic, as you would take the call for papers, if you are a business person, as you would take the call for business proposals, today I make a call for women, a call for women who either are phenomenal in running other networks, who would want to partner with us, who would want to come and join us and share with us their experiences, or women who are willing to learn from others. This is a call to you, and this is what the WINA network seeks to achieve. Thank you.
My goodness, that's absolutely fantastic, Afua. I mean, I feel very jealous. Aren't men invited? I want to be part of this women network. Can't I join because I'm a man? What's going on?
You are very much welcome, Akai.
Okay.
By saying that we are just a women-focused network, it doesn't mean that we do not take men as well, because obviously, if you can promote gender equality, you would need the participation and the involvement of men. And so we would have the associate membership. Actually, that is the category for men that we have available. Yes.
I love this. That is fantastic. In fact, as I'm saying this, I'm actually sending you an email to make me an associate member today. I don't know, tomorrow, today. And if you're listening to me really, and you are hearing an opportunity for you to connect with other women, professionals, researchers, innovators across over 15 or more African countries, and you're not jumping at the opportunity, I think there's something wrong. Why wouldn't you do that? because ultimately your network and your legwork impacts on your net worth. Come on.
I will share with you a personal experience. Just a couple of days ago, I needed some particular information that was very important.
Okay.
And then I remembered that I knew someone in Malawi. So all I did was just a test away. And in less than 10 minutes, I had everything that I knew I needed. And for me, that is actually the power of a network.
I mean, I can imagine many women, if you like, if you're a researcher, you've probably done research in Nigeria, Ghana, and your last 3 or 4 or 5 papers published was just focused on Nigeria or Ghana. I mean, imagine being able to just send an email, a text message, or send a message to Afua to say, well, I wonder if I could find a partner in Kenya, a partner in Tanzania, a partner in Zambia. Africa has got 55 countries. I mean, this for me is incredible. You can't afford to lose an opportunity to be part of a network, not only in Africa, but also connected with other networks in Europe. I mean, for absolute impact. Because for me, that is the way you can make impact in your spaces. Access to funding opportunities, access to resources, access to international events and webinars. All this access that you get from joining this network. So I think I want to employ everybody listening to me, and after that incredible presentation from Afua, to drop her an email. She's left her email on the chat section. Please pick it up, send an email. It's a very simple process to become part of the WINA network, and I can assure you the benefits are incredible. Just to mention also, if you have any questions as we progress in the session, you don't have to wait to the end of the session. Just drop any question you have in the chat section. And at some point, I will be making requests for individuals who want to actually speak out. But until then, just raise up your hand. Just use the emoji of raising your hand or request, and I'll call on you to give your comment as we progress. Thank you so much, Afua. I think that kind of sets a good premise of the importance of networks, especially as we try to increase women participation and empowerment, but also gender mainstreaming across different sectors. And but I think the next person I want to invite to speak to us is going to speak about something very, very important. I think why it's important is because it's the fulcrum. It's almost the foundation in which many economies in Africa thrive. That is the foundation of agriculture. I'm not sure you know this, but over 70% of the entire agricultural labor force that powers Africa as a continent are women. Can you imagine? But even though they make up a majority of the labor force that empower, as a matter of fact, women feed Africa is the only way of putting it. But in the midst of that, though, you discover that less than 1% of the credit, access to resources to expand, enhance agriculture, women have little or no access to those resources. No, don't worry. I'm a man. It's not my expertise area. But guess what? We have somebody who it is her expertise area. I'll be introducing Dr. Patience Opata to come talk to us about the agricultural space and women. She's a senior lecturer in agricultural business and marketing at the University of Nigeria, Nsukka. Her professional history dates back to a first degree in agriculture, a master's degree in farm management and production. She's a winner of several international awards, which includes International Foundation Science Award, World Bank Award, Robert S. McNamara Fellowship, the African Women in Agricultural Research and Development Award, Third World Academy of Sciences Award, Partnership for Economic Fellowship Award, and the award just goes on and on. She's an expert in her field, and she's a woman thriving in agricultural research and business innovations in her space. She wants to share with us our personal experiences, our view of how to increase and support women in these spaces. It gives me absolute pleasure to invite Dr. Patience Opata. Over to you, Patience.
Thank you, Akan. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. I hope you can hear me. Let me share my screen. My topic is research and innovation in agriculture in Nigeria. And before I go on, I would like to thank the organizers for giving me the opportunity to share view with the audience. It has been up this morning, the African Agenda 2063, and the future of Africa we want. and they said that no society can reach its full potential unless it empower women and remove all obstacles to their full participation in all areas of human endeavor. And Africa must create a conducive environment for women, children, and youth to flourish and reach their full potential. And I want to throw these questions to you all to just think. How do we empower women? How do we create enabling environment for them to participate? And then how do we remove all obstacles to their full participation? Okay, you can keep thinking. We are going to get back to this question in future as I present. So the content of my presentation is a situational analysis of women in agricultural research and innovation in Africa. My experience, challenges, and opportunities as a woman working in agricultural research and innovation, and an identification of potential interventions as for enhancing the African agricultural research and innovation landscape for women. Women in agricultural research and innovation are portrayed as enabler of food security and poverty alleviation. They participate in deriving innovation in various disciplines, such as passion fruit pathology, catfish breeding, pigeon pea researcher. They are also involved in indigenous vegetable, plant breeding, post-harvest processing. So the women in agricultural research are involved in the kind of research that make an impact and serve the truly poor and vulnerable. They are involved in their kind of research is risky, it is dirty and hard, and it is invisible. But so it is very important that we involve them. They are not in the kind of research that the researcher shut the door in a conditioned room and print out publication. Those ones are applied research. So their kind of research make an impact and serve the truly poor and vulnerable. Okay, why are the challenges of women in agricultural research and innovation? It is because of male power at home when they refuse to participate in domestic activity, making it more difficult for women to engage in research and innovation on equal terms. So less participation of women also arises from African gender ideology, which attach importance to the responsibility of women for household work, especially good mothering. So, and psychologically, women has also colluded with the societal norm in their relegation to domestic work. So most of them, they are not investing in themselves, and this they are exchanging their career for their domestic goals. So the African gender ideology and the power relation in decision making at household, all this is our biggest challenges to women participation in research and innovation. So globally, the government-led program to tackle gender inequalities and empower women in agricultural research and innovation are increasingly popular. And so many institutions are not also regarding this, they are disregarding this gender-sensitive research and innovation. And these are costing Africa approximately 95 billion per year. That is, yes, it's costing them 95 billion per year on economic losses as a result of insensitivity to gender. So there is need to conduct more research on all obstacles to women's full participation in research and innovation, including the deeper issue at play, to enable them get integrated into the market and other institutions, and so that they can contribute to poverty alleviation. So investing in women in Africa and innovation is a smart investment. And if they accept it, it will look like the world is waking up today. Not only because it is their right to acquire knowledge but it makes sense that they are involved in contributing to poverty alleviation and food security. If you want to close the gap between the poor and the rich, you will find out that 70% of women are poor, while 30% of men are poor. And another study also found that the women spend 70% of their income on household, while men spend 30% of theirs on household. In a research conducted in 2008, it was found that the ratio of women to men in agricultural research are less than 1 in 4, while the ratio of women to men in leadership position less than 1 in 7. So it was also found that between 2003 and 2007, the number of women in agricultural research grew more than the number of men in agricultural research institution by 2.5%. And this data show that gender gap is closing. So the data show that in the next 40 years, the number of women will be equal to that of the men. So the good news is that the gender gap is closing. So the opportunities for women to participate in research and innovation are many. And this is because many funding institutions are becoming gender sensitive, and they are trying as much as possible to fund both men and women in equal ratios. So my part 2 is on my experience. Experience, challenges and opportunities as a woman working in the research and innovation in Africa. So my professional history include Bachelor of Agricultural degree in Agri-Econs and a joint Masters of Science in Farm Management and Production Economics and Agricultural Finance and Project Analysis, which were obtained before 2008. And I also have a PhD in agribusiness and marketing. So like many other women in agricultural research and innovation, I was faced with a lot of challenges and opportunities. So that's African gender ideology. When I finished my degree and I got married, and when I finished my NYSC, I started working as a civil servant. So during my first year of marriage, I had my first child, and I had to complete all the home work before I think of any other duty outside the home. So this work includes taking care of my baby, making sure that every member eats food, cleaning, washing, etc. Although I had no power in decision making, I was empowered by my professional career. I was able to employ a house help and pay them to do most of the house work. This enabled me to have more free time to attend to my career, although the payments reduced my income. So other things I did was to apply for funding. I applied for several research grants, fellowship, and travel grants to support me in my professional career. So between 2002 and 2020, I won research grant, fellowship, and travel grant from different bodies, including International Foundation for Science, World Bank Robert S. McNamara Fellowship, the African Women in Agricultural Research and Development, the Third World Academy of Science, Partnership for Economic Policy, travel grant to participate in Global Food Security, travel grant to attend South African Third Science Forum. Then Feed the Future article writing grant and RECIRCULATE travel grant to participate in entrepreneurship and innovation workshop. So because of this experience, I was involved in many and I have extensive experience in interdisciplinary and collaborative work, and I have led international team examining staple food enterprises among rural household, food security challenges in Nigeria, indigenous post-harvest technologies in developing countries, and soybean processing in southeastern Nigeria. I have 12 years teaching and research experience. I have conducted extensive work in commercialization of agriculture and gender in agricultural research. I've led 25 research teams researching. So, and then through accessing word from World Bank, Robert S. Mann, I produced manual needed for processing soybean into flour and milk, and then how to incorporate it into many dishes to boost the nutrients of children, pregnant and breastfeeding mothers. And this was disseminated through training, workshops, and practical fortification of various food. So I also collaborated with many lecturers from various universities and conducted research on adoption of improved cassava varieties, insight from DNA fingerprinting. And this enabled me to investigate whether the poor and vulnerable, whether they are using the fortified vitamin A cassava that's to reduce the incidence of vitamin A deficiency. This was disseminated through Thomson Reuters Journal. So the African Women in Agricultural Research and Development enabled me to, they organized mentoring meeting with my mentor in Mombasa, Kenya, and we set 3 achievable career development goals, including presenting 2 papers per year and then publishing at least 2 papers per year in the next 10 years, and a sponsored mentoring meeting with me and my mentor. So the third question is the possible intervention. What are the possible interventions? And the big question in this possible intervention is, we have invested a lot and lots of resources on men, neglecting women who are responsible for more socially desirable outcome in the household. We have not put the correct resources on reducing gender gap in research and innovation. We are not gender sensitive in sharing domestic work, land, labor, credits, and other areas of human endeavor. So with this kind of ideology, we cannot achieve any of the sustainable development goals. We go back to economic losses, as SSA, Sub-Saharan Africa, are estimated to be losing $95 billion per year. So does gender sensitivity in all areas of human endeavor have any prospect to reverse this trend? Yes, because it will lead to reduced gender inequality. I'm saying more money to women. There are policies on gender equality, but they have not been implemented. We have to deliberate. There is need to for brainstorming some of the things we could do to reduce gender gap. We have to deliberately support gender-sensitive initiative. There's need for renewed worldwide interest in sub-Saharan Africa concerning power dynamic within the household, local, regional, national level to achieve gender equality. So this will expose empirical evidence for empirical evidence of research and program implication of targeting gender that account for more proportion of then the government at regional and national level should support women education through fellowship and political appointment, and they should make sure that women are also involved. So these are required for capacity gap between men and women to be filled, so that women's voice will be equitable with that of the men, so that they can be involved in setting priorities for research and policies. The results of this will be that women in research will also be in leadership positions to serve other rural women, especially those in agriculture. So not only a holistic approach is the way to go, not men alone. You have to involve women in research and innovation. So let us bridge the gap. Thank you.
I think that's absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much, Patience. As you were talking, I was like, oh my goodness. So, you asked a question or you made a comment about the fact that women spend about 70% of their income on domestic reasons, while men spend 30% of their income on domestic reasons. And I was asking myself, so if they spend only 30% of their income on the domestic reason, I mean men, what else do they spend their money on? I mean, it's a good question I think we should ask. I mean, why should women spending all their money on domestic purposes? And I also mentioned the fact that which I found very, very, very fascinating, that according to recent studies, 1 in 4, so ratio of women to men is 1 in 4 that actually participate in agricultural research and innovation, which is strange because women know a lot more about agriculture because they're the ones who spend all their time on the field understanding the structures than men. That balance is just absolutely skewed and wrong. Little wonder why Africa still imports excessive amounts of food from overseas when we have incredible land, rich fertile soils, amazing weather, lovely rainfalls. And the list just goes on. So I think for me, it gives us a point of thinking, thinking through things a bit more carefully. And I think I'm very, very excited about your interventions. And I think ultimately everybody in their different spokes, the different career spaces should consider this integration of the gender dimension within what you do, or else there won't be legacy or sustainability. So thank you so very much, Patience, for that incredible and very practical presentations. You've done incredible work. I want to kind of leave it open now and get us to get some engagement in the room. And I'm sure we normally do that through some Mentimeter session or engagement or questions. So basically, I'll be asking you a series of questions. They're quite straightforward questions, but to open up a chance for folks in the room to engage. And if you have specific questions, so for Patience or for Afua, please remember to just drop them in the chat section, and I'll pick those up as well. So I guess we can start the Mentimeter session now. So now, if you look at the chat section of this forum, you see a link that my good friend Alan has dropped on the chat. If you click the link, it should open up a platform with a series of questions, and I'd like you to answer those questions very carefully and honestly. So let's see let's see how we do. So I think we'll watch this live anyway on the chat or on the session. So click on the link on the chat section. Please, let's try and engage with this, and let's get a sense of the room. So the first question really is, having a woman innovators network like WINA is crucial for supporting women innovators. It's very simple. Yes, no, or it depends. So keep voting, please. So having a women's support network or innovators network like WINA is crucial for supporting women innovators. Yes, no, or it depends. I'll be interested to know anybody who thinks no. And that's okay if you think no, as long as there's a reason why. I'd like to know the reason. And it will be also okay if you think it depends. And by the way, for folks who cannot contribute through the link on the chat, you can just respond with your answers on the chat section of this platform, and I'll pick it up as well. So I can see, for example, Nina is saying, thank you for a great presentation. Katlo is saying, thank you for an informative presentation. Nwa for Informa is saying yes to the question. Imperial Chukwulatapela is saying yes to the question. Thank you very much, guys. It's fantastic. Gloria is saying yes to the question. I think a majority of everybody engaging thinks it's an absolutely important and crucial network to encourage and support women innovators. And if you think so, please don't just take it on yourself alone. Be sure to share this link or Afua's email to your networks, to your partners, to your colleagues, because ultimately women have to support each other. Absolutely vital. Okay. And not only women, I was asking Afua earlier, I'm a man. The network also allows for men to engage, and you can actually have an associate role within the network itself. So please, also men in the room, do an email to Afua to represent yourself as being part of this incredible network. Okay. I think we can move to the next question. Fantastic. Next question is, And this is an open question. I'd like folks to just put their responses within the box, and I'll pick these up. In your view, now we have a network that's been going on for a while. This network has to be sustained. What do you think will sustain a women innovators network like WINA? What are the key things in your mind? Because we want to get some kind of feedback from most of you. Okay. What are the key things that you think would help sustain a network like WINA, the Women Innovators Network? What are the important things that a network needs to take into consideration? So please, if you just leave a question, or a response, a word, a phrase within the response box, I'll pick this up. So somebody is saying engagement. That's absolutely crucial. What we don't want is just a network that's just a network for the sake of being a network without engagement. Okay, there has to be open-mindedness. I like that. So ultimately, there are many individuals from different areas of specialty, different countries and cultures. And so if you're part of the network, to sustain it, members of the network should have open mind. I think I like that. Enthusiasm. I think that cannot, without that, that network cannot function. There has to be enthusiasm to keep the network active. I like that. Collaboration. And so I think I'll assume you mean helping engage through maybe different ideas, regular meetings. Chinwenwe Maiba says regular meetings and engagement, collaborative effort, some kind of focus, willingness is important. I like that. Passion, togetherness, making it sustainable. From the chat, I have Ngabo says networking. Masa says teamwork, which is fantastic. Queeneth says to sustain WINA, they need aggressive publicity. Oh, wow. Don't worry, you'll be hearing about aggressive entrepreneurship from this amazing lady very soon. Aggressive publicity. Communication, people need to know about what you're doing. Measurable results. So basically, get yourself into phases, specific targets, performance indicators, measurable results, topical discussions, conversations, communications, collaborations. Oh my goodness, all the shons really, but make it valid, make it practical, make it place-based to increase engagement and make it impactful ultimately. Thank you very much. Absolutely fantastic. I think Afua, you're taking note of this, I imagine. Because I think you might want to integrate this into the management framework of WINA. Balance, collaborations. What else do we have here? Ellen says communication, collaborative effort, enthusiasm, and so on. That's fantastic. So good. I think we can go to the next question, please, if we may. Thank you. The next question is, it says, what factors has hindered women in agricultural research and innovation to date? I know that Patience, Dr. Patience Opata spoke about a few of those factors, but let's see from the room what people are thinking. So lack of support programs, that's very, very true. I think Patience spoke about that. Lack of knowledge in the spaces, activities, low policy intervention, that's very, very true. I think it's getting better in a bit because I think most African governments are thinking about mainstreaming gender across their key GDI, or if you like, their key GDP sector areas. And agriculture is one of those across the many African countries. Lack of funds, result focused, agriculture, technology, so the actual technology. And these technologies have to be accessible, affordable, and ultimately available. So don't bring some high-tech type environment to support women that hinders their research and innovation. Talking about activities, partnerships, that's absolutely crucial. Partnerships in terms of engaging academia, industry, and government. Queeneth factors has hindered include partners don't mean part of what they do. I think I like that. Nkatongang says lack of funding and land. Oh, land is a crucial one. Ngabo says lack of knowledge. I think I agree with you. Cultural norms. How do you navigate cultural norms? I think that's a big question I think someone should respond to. I think these are very, very vital factors that has hindered women in agricultural research and innovation. I think as time progresses, things are getting a little better. I like that, Queeneth. Husbands not supporting. Well, that's quite shocking. If the woman is contributing for 70% of her income to domestic support, the husband is not supporting her, I think that man fundamentally has a problem, to be honest. Because this is absolutely crucial to make sure that there's an integral dimension towards mainstreaming gender participation and empowerment, gender stereotypes. I think I agree with you, Adeola. That's very, very correct, and I agree with you. I think we've got some really good comments and engagement here. I think we can move to the next question, Alan. Thank you. Fantastic. Okay, I like this one. Gender contributes to professional challenges in Africa. Agree? I disagree? It depends. Let's see. Gender does contribute to professional challenges in Africa. Agree? Disagree? It depends. So basically, take it like gender, the element of gender, or so gender disparity or gender identity, whatever the case is, it's a factor that leads to professional challenges in Africa. Agree, disagree, it depends. Okay, I think I want to actually critique, or maybe not critique, but request for, I think I noticed that Nwafo says agree, Georgina says excellent presentation, Buwang says self-criticism in women, Ngatonga says agree. Queeneth, you said it depends. Can you please put on your microphone and explain what do you mean by it depends? Could you be more elaborate, please? Queeneth.
All right. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Queeneth.
Yes, good morning, everybody. I say it depends because it is not in all cases that there is no support. When you say gender, in most policies now, you have women inclusion, inclusiveness. And you see that in most cases, even in government now, women are being included in majority of things they do. So we have about 75% attendance of women in most of our government parastatals. Even in my school, women are all over the place. HODs, women, DVC, women. So it depends. So it's not a stereotypic thing or a one-sided thing. It is basically different in all spheres. So in my own sphere or in my own school and in where I'm from, my academic background, it depends, really depends, honestly.
That's a very vital point you made. So I would imagine individuals would probably respond based on their own personal experiences. And so if somebody's saying that they agree, it's either they've experienced that bias themselves or they know somebody who has. But I think I probably agree with you in the sense that local context and geographical peculiarities also determines the engagement of women, in which case gender doesn't actually become contribute to a professional challenge in that case. Marilyn says that she agrees. Ellen also thinks that it depends. Ellen, I'll be happy to hear from you why you think it depends. I can understand why most people agree, but I'm probably more interested in folks who says it depends. Ellen, if you're on the call, could you unmute yourself and kind of tell us why you said it depends, please? Ellen. Okay, so maybe I will just kind of poke a bit at a few of the folks who agree. So I'm going to call on just, if you don't mind, I'm just going to call on you at random and just tell me why you've agreed with this, and maybe share your own personal experience. Adeola A, are you on the call? Are you able to tell us why you agree with this notion, or have you got a personal experience? Or if there's anybody else who said they agree and have a personal experience that you would like to share, please raise up your hand and I'll call you, please. Let's have some interaction. So why do you agree with this case? Have you got a personal experience or a specific case in point you want to refer to? Could you raise up your hands, please, and I'll call you if you agreed with this notion that gender contributes to professional challenges in Africa? Anybody? Can I see any hands? Alan, do we have any hands up? Patience Daniel. Yes, could you tell us why you've agreed, please? Patience Daniel. Patience Daniel, could you tell us why you've agreed, please? Unmute yourself. And then after you, I'd like to hear from Adeola Aremu as well, because I think your hand is also up. So I know. Can you?
Good morning.
Good morning, please. Please proceed.
Yeah, I'm sorry, it was the laptop. Yeah, I am Patience Daniel from BIUST University in Botswana.
Okay.
Yes, so I'm currently doing chemical engineering. I'm moving to 4th year next month.
Okay.
Yes. So the reason why I think like in my country, there are very few women who are in agricultural research and innovation, and this is because of the societal background or societal thinking that women are less efficient in agriculture. They think women are kind of, they are weak, so they can't do much on agricultural research.
Wow.
This is a work that involves a lot of hard work, so basically men can do that. So it's basically societal thinking that I think it has to be changed with more education and attending webinars like this, so that we can sensitize the world that yes, women can do it in agriculture research and innovation.
That's absolutely incredible. Thanks for that contribution. Yes, Adiola, you can go next, please. I know your hands were up. Patience, thank you very much for that contribution from Botswana. Adiola, please. Adiola, you can unmute yourself and make a contribution. Adiola Aremu, Adiola A.
Yes, can you hear me?
Very clearly, yes. Go on, please.
Okay, if you want to proceed in your profession and you don't have a supportive husband, it could hinder the person from achieving whatever you want to achieve in your career. If your husband wants you to be around 24/7 with the children, doesn't want you to employ a house help, or you should just be doing everything by yourself, I don't see how you'll be able to proceed in your profession.
That's incredible. That's absolutely powerful. I know. So Paul, just 1 minute. Then there's somebody else who's got their hands up. I didn't get that name. So I'm going to call on you now, Mary. But I want to first call on who's got their hands up. Yes. So Poloko, Ivy, Namani, please could you express why you've agreed with this? Have you got a personal experience to share? Poloko, Ivy, Namani. After you, please, Chinwenwe, Maimba, please get ready. You would go next. And then after you, I'll call on Mary. Yes, Poloko, over to you, please.
Oh, okay. Now, I feel like sometimes it's just believing in themselves that they can do it. Sometimes it's not just from people around thinking that women are inferior, but it's just in women thinking that the gender roles or what are specifically restricted to men. So, yeah.
Oh, I see. So where are you from, Poloko? Just so we know, for records. Where are you from?
I'm from Botswana.
Also from Botswana. That's absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for that. How about we now hear from Chimwenwe Maimba? Any contribution, please? I know your hands are up.
Hello, good morning, everyone. I'm Chimama from Malawi.
From Malawi, fantastic. Go on.
Yes, I agree with the fact that gender contributes to professional challenges in Africa. Firstly, we know that most African countries, they are highly, they are masculine. They score highly on their masculinity.
Yeah.
So, for instance, in my country, we do not have a lot of women in managerial positions, in science, in innovation. So I feel like that also is the reason why a lot of women do not want to get higher qualifications, because they get demotivated. They feel like they haven't seen a lot of educated women in managerial positions, in those high positions. So they feel like maybe there's no point getting higher education because you will not make it to the top anyway. And also, the other point I would like to raise is that sometimes it's us women who do not want to promote other women. For instance, if you ask a woman who she would like to work with, or who she works better with, they would say they prefer to work with maybe the opposite gender. So it has to begin with us women supporting
each other,
women.
basically.
Yeah, each other. Yeah, promoting each other.
That's very, very powerful. Thank you so much.
Yes.
So can I hear from you, Mary, and just tell me where you are from as well? Mary, can you make your contribution, and also but start with where you are from. Then after Mary, I'll move to the next question because of time, but I'll try and pick up comments on the chat section as we proceed. But if Mary can tell us why she's agreed to wrap up this question, then we can move to the next one quickly. That'd be fantastic.
Mary? I think Mary dropped out.
She's dropped out already. Okay, that's absolutely fine. Alan, I think we can move to the next question because of time. That's fantastic. Thank you, ladies, for your incredible contributions. And by the way, this session is being recorded. And in case you know anybody you want this to be shared with, we'll try and send the link to the video recording to everybody who has participated. So at the end of the webinar, you'll be requested to click a link to send or to kind of fill a little form of your name and your email addresses, which will be the basis for being issued a certificate of achievement and participation if you want that to be sent to you after the webinar. But then we can also send you, or we will also send you a link to the video recording. Next question is, why do you think women make up that's a good question. Why do you think women make up 70% of Africa's agricultural labor force? Why is that so? So somebody's saying labor segregation, which is very powerful. So the person who said gender labor segregation, could you let me know in the chat, please? So I want to understand what you mean by gender labor segregation. And somebody's saying, yes, compassion towards family. That's very understandable because of the, if you like, the very, very strong cords and alignment with women and their families. And so in one form or the other, families have to feed. And so that makes a good point. Any other reason you think women make up 70% of Africa's agricultural labor force? Okay, so you can also leave your comments on the chat section. I'll pick those up. Does anybody have any comments whatsoever? Okay, so if you had chosen, so that's somebody saying traditional role, that's very, very true. Ellen says women are used as cheap labor, which is so sad and very annoying. Are used as cheap labor and the compassion for family by women. That's since someone else mentioned that. Traditional role. So traditionally, for a long time, women are seen as being the ones who do the farming and make food available to family, including the husband as well, which actually defeats the purpose or actually negates the reality of today's situation and environment, especially if they're not getting the right support and base or resources to increase their profile or their professional expertise. That becomes a problem. So Bokani says labor segregation by gender. This is what I meant. Certain roles in traditional society. Okay, I see what you mean. Thanks, Bokani, for clarifying that. Compassion towards family. That's Dr. Rufino Chinelo comments on that. That's fantastic. There's somebody else making any comments? Okay, back now. Okay, yeah. So Mary, could you come back, please? And because I know you dropped off, I wanted to hear your comment on gender factor on professional development. Mary, yes, come on the call. Let's hear what you were going to say before you dropped off quickly. Mary, you're back in the call, yeah? Could you just unmute yourself and tell us what you were going to say before you dropped off the call? I was going to call you to make a comment about.
Yes, thank you very much, Akan.
Go on.
Very interesting discussion this morning.
Yeah.
And now that I have the opportunity, I would like to invite the women to the Conference for Women in Science Without Borders. I've sent the advert before
That's
to the
fantastic.
circulate, but I'll repeat because this discussion really fits in the conference that we are organizing. I'm from Kenya. Now, my contribution I wanted to make is about,
Mary, could you put the link to this event on the chat section, please, so women on the call can join? This is very, very important event, I think.
Yes, I did so earlier, but I'll still put it back.
Beautiful.
Now, the contribution I wanted to make regarding gender, especially from the Kenyan perspective.
Okay.
The Kenyan constitution stipulates what we call the 2-third gender rule in all positions, that neither gender should be less than 2-third. But this has not passed through parliament. And yet even women in parliament, anytime this debate is going on, you know, some people just chicken out, parliamentarians, including women, chicken out, and they don't vote. So I feel there's still a lot to be done. It's one thing to have the policies, even institutional policies. Like in my university, the policy is 40% gender representation. And we have seen that even when women have been appointed, they face hostility from the men that they are leading. So if you are a director of an institute or you're a dean, you are there, yes, you have been appointed as a woman, but the hostility you face, and I feel women still need a lot of empowerment to believe in themselves and to assert themselves, so that when you get a position, you are able to, you know, to perform your tasks. And this is where, you know, the women's networks come in, because then we can, or we are able to develop programs, empowerment programs, leadership programs to empower the women to be able to assert themselves in spite of all these gender stereotypes and cultural norms and everything else. And the conference I'm just about to write about on the chat, we are going to have a networking session.
Okay, that's good.
During that conference, where we shall be discussing exactly those issues.
That's
and it would be really nice to have someone like Patience and Afua coming to the
that's why they're here. So I think Paul has just dropped the link to the conference in the chat, because we Lancaster University, we work very well with the African Women in Science and Engineering, and you guys do incredible work. So I know, I've been to one of your conferences before. It's going to be an incredible event. So folks in the room, please note it down, click the link, register right away, and don't miss that conference. I think, Mary, I like your point about the fact that if gender mainstream, you know, gender women empowerment is done from a policy level, the opportunities for actual impact is very, very feasible, or very much more practical. It is driven from government policy level, where there are specific allocations or contributions for participation. I think we'll move to the last question now. I think that's the last question for now. Now, I think we're going to have two more speakers, two incredible, impressive women, to now deal on two new areas of focus. So the first women spoke about networks as Afua, and Patience spoke about women in agriculture. The next speaker will speak about ICT and women. I think this is fascinating. We live in the fourth industrial revolution, and some even say we are already in the fifth industrial revolution. And everywhere you look, it's ICT, ICT, ICT. Every other day, a new mobile app comes on the scene. Most Africans have got mobile phones. The ICT space is being catapulted to a new level, and Africa is a major beneficiary of this enhancement in these spaces. But the point is, what is the role of women in that space? What are the challenges, the opportunities? And the person we have who will speak to this is a good friend, but an incredible, impressive lady who's a senior lecturer at the Department of Computer Science and Information Systems, College of Sciences, at the Botswana International University of Science and Technology, Dr. Otlhapile Dinakenyane, who is going to speak about the ICT space, the era we now live, women, but fundamentally, our experience as a female researcher in this space. Over to you, Otlhapile. You're mute.
Yeah, I had not unmuted my mic. Good morning, everyone, and thank you very much for inviting me to speak. It's a pleasure to join this webinar, and I'll try by all means to be as simple as I possibly can, because I know as a scientist and tech people can become very technical in the way we speak, such that in the end we lose our audience. I will be speaking about
You're mute again, Tapile. You're muted yourself again. There you go. That's better.
yeah. Let me just share my my presentation.
Fantastic.
Can we all see my presentation?
Not yet. Yes, we can see it now. Fantastic.
Okay. So as mentioned, I'm going to be talking about ICT and women innovators, and I will give a background about the status quo, or how things are at the moment. And as we all know, ICT, just like any other engineering technology career, is male dominated. When somebody talks about ICT, or when somebody talks about a programmer, all we think about is a guy. We see that as a guy. If somebody was to visit you and they were supposed to solve your IT problem in an office, and then a woman appears, you wouldn't think that the woman who appears there is the one who has come to solve your problem, but you'll be more comfortable seeing that being a man, because the industry, the IT industry, is male dominated. And therefore, this male domination has brought about a gender digital divide. And I think a lot of governments, a lot of institutions and organizations are really working on bridging this gap. They are really looking in closing the digital gap, because as Akan has already mentioned, we are living in an era where you cannot survive without having knowledge and skills in ICT. We need them every day. It's no longer something that belongs to a category of people, but it belongs to everybody. Everybody has to have skills to be able to survive in the era that we live in right now. But as I said, the ICT challenges, or the challenges that the ladies in ICT face, are not really, they are not unique to ICT women, even though they're prevalent there, because when you speak of science and when you speak of engineering, especially science, if you talk about biological sciences, you'll find that there are a lot of women there. There's quite a huge number of women representation. But when you talk about engineering, in all its formats, there are not enough women in engineering. And when we talk about ICT, there aren't many women in ICT, especially in Africa. And this is all to do with the way the girl child is raised, because when a girl child is raised, we are taught that they're taught how to do dishes, they're taught how to clean, they're taught how to do laundry. They're basically taught domestic duties. And a lot of times when a girl tries to get something or do something that is said to be, that is commonly known to be something that is done by boys, they are discouraged from doing that. So they are kind of limited from the young age. And that is why when they grow up, they end up being unable to be involved in such areas as ICT, in areas like engineering, because it's like they have been taught that is a taboo from a young age. And even when you have chosen to be involved in this area, like myself, you may find that your progress is somehow hindered, because nothing much is expected of you, because people don't have high expectations from you. So if you're there and the male counterpart, your male counterpart might be given responsibilities that you cannot be trusted with because you are a woman. And we are often outnumbered. And being outnumbered here, sometimes it can be daunting. And depending on your character, you might not be able to perform because you are shy. Because I think women are innately shy. Unfortunately, I'm not like that. Or I don't know if it's unfortunate or fortunate. I'm not like that. But a lot of women we are soft-spoken. And I think it also has something to do with the way we are brought up. We are reserved, you have to act like a lady. You have to act like a lady. I think we'll discuss that at some point, what I mean by that, but I believe that you get the point. And women also can be their own enemy. And by this, I mean, I'm glad that today we have a lot of women who have joined us in this discussion. And I have seen a lot of people from Botswana, and thank you guys for joining in. But sometimes you find that as women don't support one another, men support one another. And women, it would be comforting if men didn't trust us, but women did, because then at least you'll have somebody support you. Now, imagine you are a woman and men don't support you and women don't support you. Who is supporting you? So that can be a problem. So my encouragement is that as ladies, we need to be seen to be encouraging each other. We need to be seen to be supporting one another. And the other challenge that people have is, not people, but women have, is the domestic issues part. Because as a woman, unfortunately or fortunately, you have duties that you have to carry at home. It doesn't matter where you are. You have to be able to see to it that people eat at home. You have to see to it that the kids are well fed, the laundry is done, the house is clean, and all the other duties that other ladies have already spoken about. Because like I said, some of the challenges really are cross-board. They are not just for ICT, they are not just for agriculture, but they are just challenges that women who work and challenges that women who work in science experience. But history suggests that this has always been, but there are women like Ada Lovelace who was incredible. She was a mathematician, and she's often referred to as the first programmer. And she was also married, and she had kids. So if she was able to do a lot and achieve like she has achieved, but still was a woman, and still was a parent, and still was a wife to someone, so can we. So I really want to encourage the ladies out there that you don't have to choose between your career and the home life. If you want both, then go for both. It's doable. We have history indicating that it hurts. And now I will talk about my personal experience. The way I landed into ICT is not a situation where I was thinking about it all the time when I was growing up. No, because remember when I was growing up, I was being told things like I can be a doctor, or I can be a nurse, or I can be any other thing but ICT. So I actually landed into this decision while I was already at university. And it only happened because I couldn't do what I wanted to do then for other reasons. So I ended up asking myself, what else can I do? And then I did ICT. And God, I'm very thankful that I chose that then. So I did my first degree in UB, and then I went to the UK to do my master's, and I also did my PhD. And I came excited. If you recall the first slide, I don't know if you do, I was all smiley and everything, thinking now I have achieved the PhD and I'll be able to. I had too many dreams. Little did I know that once I have babies, there will be more other things that I would have to look into. Having babies, to me, is a blessing, but it does come with its own challenges. But then if you find yourself in that beautiful blessing. You have to find a way of being able to balance your time such that you can be able to take care of family and also be able to take care of your work. But then that brings about challenges as well. Some of the challenges that I have mentioned before, I have experienced it myself, in that I remember a time where I had this wonderful boss. I call her wonderful because I know that at the time when she was making decisions about what was happening at work, she was looking out for me. And she wasn't delegating a lot of responsibility to me because she felt, because I had just had babies, maybe I need more time to take care of the family. But little did she know at the time that I actually yearned to do more. I actually yearned to get more responsibility. So you find that her intentions were good, but for me, I felt like they were keeping me, they were not, it made me feel out of place, if you know what I mean. Because then I felt like maybe it was because I was lacking, but it wasn't that. And then I also have experienced the situation of being outnumbered. In my department, I am the only Botswana woman with a PhD in my department, and everybody else is a man, and we have two other ladies who are from outside Botswana, actually outside of Africa. And then I have gone through situations where sometimes I'd feel like, even though it might not be said in so many words, you are undermined in a way, or somebody might sabotage what you do in a way. But then if that happens, as a woman, you should be able to find a way to navigate and do other things, because there are a lot of projects out there. And I think sometimes we get caught up in disagreements instead of focusing in getting results. So you should be able to find a way to navigate and still be able to show results at the end of the day, rather than focusing on the fact that you are undermined or on the fact that you are sabotaged and all that. And also, never ever apologize for who you are, and never feel like an imposter, because I think sometimes because you are outnumbered as a woman, you might feel like you are an imposter in whatever area you are in. So feel like you belong and take charge. You are not an imposter. If you are a lecturer or if you are a manager as a woman in ICT, please understand that you are there because you achieved it. So you gotta live it. And then I'm going to mention a case of Botswana. What is happening right now, we have a lot of initiatives that are done by youth in Botswana, and these are not all, but I'm just giving you a brief because I have to give an idea of how the landscape is in Botswana. So we have initiatives like the Dare to Dream company that is formed by one youth called Captain Komoto, and it focuses on robotics and coding. We have the clicking generation that is that was formulated by Ahang, which actually helps kids to start coding at a younger age as well. And as you know, right now we live in an era where cybersecurity is very important, and I'm glad to announce that we have one of the leaders in cybersecurity here in Botswana called Mpho Chakaita, who's a leading cybersecurity expert and also has a company in that. And we have leaders in different companies like BURS. BURS is like the organization that actually manages the taxes for Botswana. And the IT manager there is a lady called Lebisani Mosweu. And we have a mine in Palape, Murupulo Coal Mine. And a friend of mine is the leader in the IT department there, and her name is Nikki Senso. We also have some other leaders in like in the legal system. We have a lawyer who is also an expert in information privacy, Mesenwelo Mudise. And when you speak of academia, we have good representation because the HOD for computer science in the University of Botswana, Dr. Masizana, has been the HOD there for quite some time. We have a lecturer in computer science in BIUST. We have another lecturer who is a Botswana lecturer in Botswana Accountancy College, and she's also a graduate of BIUST. And we have organizations like Emma Mbasadi, which also has initiatives that help women in IT. And we also have Mabontle, which is Mabontle Seko, which is also an organization that has been formulated by one Tirolo Ramasedi, and it helps basically on bridging the digital gap between the genders. And I have this where I say through her eyes. We have to try and see things through the women's eyes. They have the challenges that they do have, but we can also benefit a lot by engaging them because of their innate nature. I remember one presenter earlier on said that women actually always come up with the results that are better suited or are not detrimental like men do. I think sometimes men are more open to take challenges and they will apologize later, but women look into things before they come into that space of taking decisions because they don't want to apologize later. And so this is the future that we hope to see. We hope to see women smiling in this ICT industry. We want to see mentors helping younger girls so at an early age, so that when they grow up, they can have an opportunity to be able to choose to be engaged in ICT if they like. We want to see happy women at the workplace instead of women who are not happy, women who feel out of place, women who feel outnumbered. But as I said, we as women also have to appreciate the fact that the government and organizations and the world out there is really trying to help us to feel included. And so we need to take a step and be unapologetic about it and do what we need to do in the areas that we choose to be involved in, like ICT. And so this is just a summary of a snapshot that I took somewhere that has got a lot of things that I can't discuss right now, but it basically summarizes some of the things that I highlighted in the presentation today. And with that, I thank you. And back to you, Akan.
I think that's pretty good. Thank you so much for that. I think everybody's clapping. I'm clapping as well. You know, you began with this picture, and I'm ashamed to say when you painted the picture and I thought about it for a second, I think I'll probably think the same thing. And I'm ashamed of myself to even consider that. I mean, the picture of if you rang up asking for a technical expert to come and fix your computer, and a lady shows up. That's so bad. It's so true. That picture just hits me like, my goodness, would I ask her? I mean, has she missed her way? Is she in the wrong place? But that kind of shows you how ingrained that notion, that negative, that wrong perception is across board. That's so sad. And I'm hoping that with talks like this and webinars like this, there can be a change in those sort of perceptions. Thank you. That was absolutely phenomenal. And I mean, I don't know how you cope, how you do it. The only female PhD holder in your department. You are a strong woman. In fact, you are a power lady. Congrats to you and kudos to you for incredible job you do, Otlhapile. Okay, I'm going to call the next person and our last speaker. I'm sure we'll come to you anyway. I think if anybody has any questions, please drop in the chat section. We'll pick these up. I'm going to come to our last speaker who will wrap it up, but she'll be talking about women engineering, but in a sense in entrepreneurship, which is a very interesting combination. And she lives entrepreneurship, even though she's an international award-winning engineer. She lives entrepreneurship. How can women innovators, women researchers also be entrepreneurial? I mean, I think we have to listen to her speak. And I'm speaking of none other than Dr. Queeneth Kingsley-Omoyibo. Now, Queeneth holds a bachelor's degree in engineering, a master's degree in production and industrial engineering, the distinction, and a PhD in production and industrial engineering. Also with the distinction, and Queeneth has organized international sessions, conferences, workshops on entrepreneurship for very, very powerful national bodies like NOTAB in Abuja. She currently leads a scientific officer of Intellectual Property and Technology Transfer Office at Igbinedion University in Okada, Nigeria. She belongs to several professional bodies like the Nigerian Institute of Mechanical Engineering, Association of Professional Women Engineers of Nigeria. She's a chair and vice chair of the Association of Edo State of this particular body. She's a specialist in entrepreneurship, supporting women to bridge these gaps. She's a member. I mean, I can go on and on. She's an impressive woman. She's published 4 books. She's written and published 4 books, while she has a family with kids and, of course, a husband. How does she do it? It gives me absolute pleasure to invite Dr. Quinet Kingsley-Omoyibo. Over to you, madam.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Akan. I don't know how you got all that information. I was just smiling all the way.
I'm
really happy. How do I do it? I am very energetic, and somebody called me energy goddess when we went to Ghana for RECIRCULATE set program. I actually work at night when my children are sleeping. I have 6 children, 4 boys and 2 girls. And these 6 children are wonderful set of people. They understand what I'm doing, and I try to put them in what I'm doing so that they know when to call the shots. So it's been working for me. So once you see me writing, oh, mommy is writing, okay, let me go write. Mommy is reading, let me not disturb. So I train them up like that, and I don't have a problem. I actually trained the 6 of them single-handedly without a house help, and I made them to work. I heard somebody saying training girls to do this. No, my boys are even more. Like I said, 4 boys. They can cook, they can wash plates, they can lay bed, they can do all sorts. And I actually gave a proverb in the house. If you lay your bed every day, your life is straightened out every day. If your bed is scattered every day, your life is scattered every day. And so everybody wants to lay their bed. And so that makes the house organized. So with this, I say, I am engineer Dr. Mrs. Queeneth Omoyibo, Kingsley-Omoyibo from Igbinedion University, Okada. I am in the Department of Mechanical Engineering. And like Akan has said, I am into entrepreneurship now because when I came back from Ghana RECIRCULATE program, I actually told myself, wow, entrepreneurship is it. Building a successful business takes time. And then it takes energy and dedication. If you do not put in dedication, a business cannot strive. So you carry out a viable research, it also takes time. And so when you're doing this research, you also need to put energy, you also need to put in dedication. So today, the subject for today is entrepreneurship in research. Entrepreneurship in research. So in every research, there is entrepreneurship. And so what is entrepreneurship? Practicing a new enterprise, using identified, can I have the next slide, please? Using identified opportunities to boost an old enterprise or even a new one. You can keep boosting a new one, and then you can also boost an old one. And then what is this entrepreneurship going to really make us to get to know about is that we use controlled resources, because whatever resources has been given to you as an entrepreneur, you need to control it. You do not put your money where it does not count. And when you have that money, you must properly account for it. And so you use it to purchase opportunities through innovation, creativity, and lastly, hard work. Yes, hard work is really part of what entrepreneurship is all about. Now, let me ask a question. Is it possible to design and produce innovations that address crucial problems in our communities, and then doing this in a new way, in an appropriate way? Is it possible? All right. So that's food for thought. Next slide, please. All right. So in entrepreneurship, we talk about startups. Where do you get knowledge from for you to even be an entrepreneur in the first place? An entrepreneur is a business-minded person. An entrepreneur is one who takes risk. An entrepreneur is one who, from little ideas, grows a large empire. And so where does this idea come from? Scientific techniques can come from there, logic and reasoning, personal experiences, what you see every day. I know of a friend that the father was into producing poundo yam machines. And then she kept telling herself she'll produce one someday. And then she decided to say, okay, where does she get this knowledge from? Engineering. Can I read engineering? Can I do engineering maths? Can I do technical drawing? I can't. And then she told herself, okay, I can. She decided to build her capacity on that. And then today, she is doing poundo yam manufacturing, the machine for pounding yam. And so from personal experiences from your parents, you can get your entrepreneurship prowess from there. Tradition, what has happened years ago, what's happening years to come. Tenacity, and then belief, what you believe, your passion, what you really want to do, your intuition, and then common sense. So it's all about making researches commercializable, and then improving economic prosperity and quality of life to build sustainable future for everyone, not just for you alone, for everyone. Next slide, please. And then, next slide. Every research has entrepreneurial prowess. In every research, you have entrepreneurial prowess. It starts with an idea, a challenge to be addressed. What do you want to address? Because in every research, you want to address a challenge. You want to be able to bring a solution. You want to bring a novelty somewhere. So what's the challenge you want to bring in? Okay, I know of someone that decided to open a crèche. In my office, I went to Abuja, National Universities Commission, Abuja, to give a talk. And then someone said, wow, in this place, you have so much workers, but you have pregnant women all over the place, and there's no crèche. Why don't I establish a crèche? She walked up to the NOTAP Secretary General and told the NOTAP Secretary General that she wanted to open a crèche. And then the man said, okay, fine. She opened the crèche, and wow, boom, the crèche has so many babies there. And who are these? Who are the mothers of these babies? The workers in NUC Abuja. So she's making her cool money. She's also a worker there. So you think of a problem you want to solve, a problem that, wow, if I solve it, I'm going to make money. And if I solve it, I'm going to make people happy. Not just making money, also affecting lives, okay? Generating an idea. And then innovation. You innovate. In that crèche, maybe in crèches, you don't have pony and all that. Innovate, be creative, and then people would even come from outside to say, okay, the crèche in NUC has this, has that facility, patronize. And then people outside are now losing customers because of your innovation. And then you should have a vision. And what is a vision? Your vision should be followed. That is your commercial awareness of what you're doing. Now, let me explain commercial awareness. I work in Igbinedion University, Okada. One of the commercial awareness I should have as a lecturer, as a senior lecturer in mechanical engineering department, is to know the vision statement of my school, the mission statement of my school national anthem, what the goals of my school are, and then what is the main thing my school is known for all over the world. I am so taken aback when somebody tells me I cannot sing the national anthem of where I work, or I cannot even say the vision or mission statement of where I work. I can sing my school national anthem from beginning to the end. I learned it the very first day I went for interview because I knew it would be part of me. And each time I'm teaching, the national anthem slogans come into my head. To lead is our goal. And then there is part of that national anthem that blows my mind. God bless Igbinedion University. And so when you're teaching, you are using this as your guide. So you should be commercially aware of what you are doing as an entrepreneur. So what's the future? Producing impactful researches that will span into the future, and then impacting the society by putting theory into practice, theory into reality. What you write, put on paper, blow it up, and let's see how it goes in practical terms. And so recognize the entrepreneurial market, get a challenge, and then recognize the entrepreneurial market. And then in research environment, entrepreneurs are there. They are the developers of innovation. Entrepreneurs, the workers that take salary home, okay? But the entrepreneurs are the risk takers that plunge in money and then make profits. And so who are these entrepreneurs in the environment of the research? And environment of research, knowledge-based, knowledge house is the university, the academia. So who are these entrepreneurs in this setting? Identify them and see how they can work for the university. I recently was added to a committee for entrepreneurship development that Central Bank was going to come to my school to do an investment. And I was given a topic to blow up, which is job instruction training. And then in that job instruction training, I did a proposal. I thought I was going to just do a 2-page. I did a 9-page proposal. And when I was done, I was so impressed. I was like, wow, this is beautiful. In that job instruction training, you know that students are coming in as students, but they are going to go out as entrepreneurs. Students are coming in empty, but they're going to go out filled up to blow up and be the best of who they are and be employable. That's the word. Employable, not to be liabilities, not to go back home and start thinking, what do I do next? Or start thinking of white collar jobs. No, immediately you don't get the white collar job. The next thing that comes to your mind is to switch on to see how you can be useful to yourself. What are these things you've learned in the university that can make you a better person? You just quickly start swinging into action. That's what universities are doing. And my university, Igbinedion University, recently, like I told you, I was in that committee. It's on that. And so when our students ask, we have an entrepreneurial center where they learn a lot of skills. And these skills, mind you, they don't forget. Eventually, we teach them one skill. But when they go out, these children have a way of, doubling up with ICT and all of that. And then they blow up knowing so much. Imagine somebody learning hairdressing here in school and then goes out to become a soilless scientist. Somebody came to my school to give us soilless science training on agriculture. He's an alumni of Igbinedion University. He learned skills in entrepreneurship center, but that wasn't what he learned. But he went out and then developed on what he got and became a soilless scientist. And then now he's going all over the place training people on soilless science. So entrepreneur is so beautiful that in a research environment, entrepreneurs can become innovation developers, and then developing innovations using business plan, back up with resources. You need money. Yes, as an entrepreneur, you need money to start. But sometimes people will feel it is the whole bank you need. Just that idea would just blow you up. And then whatever resources you need, resource mobilization comes in, you also need to start from somewhere. Start small and grow big. And then establish enterprise as change agents. Okay, next slide. So how is entrepreneurship relevant to my research? How? In every research, there's entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship, business. Entrepreneurship, money making. Entrepreneurship, enterprise. My research, what I find out, what the skills I get in my academic prowess. So academic research skills are transferable to entrepreneurship. How? Did you see that question? How? Okay, let's go. The business idea that we have can be transferable into our research questions. Identifying gaps in knowledge, identifying a problem, a problem to be solved, a challenge. And then when we're identifying problems to be solved and challenges, we should look at the SDG goals, the 17 SDG goals. Yes. How do we solve them? So every research we do should be channeled to the SDG goals, because the more we solve them from our universities all over Africa, the better the SDG goals get resolved and get solved, and then we're happier for it. By 2063, Africa is what we want. Africa we want, we get by 2063. Okay. All right. Market research. It is likable to literature review. Every literature review, you scout out for it. What has this person done in this area? How do I improve on it? What are the gaps of what this person has done? How do I improve on it? The same thing with market research. Okay, this person established a crutch. How do I establish mine that should be, that to be scalable, that to step up? You must always step up your game. Okay, you're not just copying, copycats. You need to be innovative, be creative. Okay, I like training. I like to train. I recently went to a university outside my university during the May 27th Children's National Day. I didn't want to stay at home. I'm very energetic. I like to work. I like to produce, see things work, and I like to see people changing from what they were to what they are and what they will be. That's Queeneth for you. If I meet you as one I want to improve you to 10, if possible 20. And so I went to Afua University at Doekiti to teach them on soft skills and how to be entrepreneurial. And then the soft skills they need in engineering, because I'm an engineer, I'm a current certified engineer, okay? Council for Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria, I'm a member. Now, when I got to the engineering section of that school, the skills they need are negotiation skills. And if you're a good negotiator, you'll be a sound entrepreneur. They need critical skills, critical thinking skills. You critically think and how to reason things out. And if you're a critical thinker, you're not scattered, you're packaged, you know the next step, you're logical in your reasoning. And then another skill they needed to know, which is very, very, very key to entrepreneur, is what's called communication skills, interpersonal relationship. You want to talk to a customer, you talk to a customer rudely, you're going to lose your customers to the next entrepreneur who has those skills. Yes. So do not lose your customers to anyone. The ones you have gathered, keep gathering and don't lose it. And how do you do that? You should have extensive research that fills gap of knowledge to benefit society. And then business plan. Business plan can be likened to our project proposal. Yes. To not just do a research and put it in the shelf. Gone are those days. Queeneth says so. That's old school. You do a research, that research must be industry-based, must be academic-based, and the government must benefit from it. We will get there. Just wait. And then your business plan should be, every business proposal should be skewed towards a proper business plan that completes your project. While the project proposal proposes a solution, you should use statistical backups, statistical data, to back up what you're doing, like what the agric presenter did by backing up with statistical data, 30% of that, 70% of that. It will make a lot of sense. Okay, next slide. Now, you convert academic research into a successful business plan. How do you do that? Is it possible? Yes, it is. How? Let's go. Now, every lecture you carry out, every conference you do is likely to networking with people from your same field. All right. Now, I attend a conference every year. I'll be attending, this August is coming now, August 19th to August 21st, Korean Assembly. It is the largest assembly for all engineers in Nigeria. You don't just go there and take pictures and then laze away. No, you sit down to listen as an academic. You should sit down, or even anybody, let me not be biased, sit down to listen to every comment from the conference, gain knowledge, insightful knowledge, and then network. Oh, my name is Queeneth. What's your name? Trust me on that. I can tell you I'm very friendly. In fact, if I was to be given an award in sex program in Ghana, I should have been given the award of the most friendly participant in that program, honestly, no bias. And then oh, what's your name? My name is Queeneth. My name is Emmanuel. What do you do? I'm an electrical engineer. I'm into that. I mean, oh, I am a lecturer. Before you know it, something will come up in electrical engineering that person would link you up to, and something will come up in the industry, in the academia, that person will need your prowess. Hello, Queeneth. I think I need so information from you from Igbinedion University. Before your networking is already going. So every network you make with people of your same field, birds of the same feather flock together. Okay. You could also make network with people that are not in your field. Then funding in every entrepreneurial prowess is likely to our research grants. Yes. To be able to carry out a very sound research that is viable, it needs to be funded. Resource mobilization, grants and aids. How do you get that? Do you know to get a grant? You don't just, like somebody told me, I went to give a talk in Government House, and in that talk, I talked about MEAL, which is monitoring, evaluation, accountability, and learning. Now, in that monitoring, they talked about funding. In evaluation, they talked about funding. And then, do you know, to get funding from government, you do a lot of paperwork. You will write and write and write. And if you're not good at that, you'll be so frustrated and back out. So you need to also learn. So for you to do anything in life, learning, developing, develop yourself in every facet that will help you to be a sound entrepreneur, a sound researcher, so that every entrepreneurial prowess that you want to achieve in the research you are doing can be feasible.
Sorry, Doc. You've got just 2 minutes because of time.
Okay.
Please.
All right. So for time and energy, you have to be dedicated. Now, next slide. And then entrepreneurship, is it commercializable? Yes. Is your research commercializable? When you send your proposal to any industry, can it be accepted? Can it be commercialized? Are you protecting your ideas? Because every idea that you have must be patented. Do you do market research? Do you educate yourself? Do you develop yourself, like what I said? Learn business strategy for you to be a sound entrepreneur. And then you should also advertise using social media. Next slide. Attract industries to buy your idea. How do you do that? Use strategies to invite industries to key into your innovation, solve industry problems, gain insights on job creation, and then the triple helix model. Next slide. Triple helix model: industry, academia, government collaboration. For industries are made to key into inventions and latest technologies. So you as an academia, how do you key them into your invention? The university as the powerhouse should provide the knowledge through research by training people. You can even do IGRO. After training, they pay. And that's entrepreneur. Then organize workshops, seminars to update industries and government on latest technology. And the government should give us friendly policies, friendly industrial acts, so that to carefully define research problems to suit industry problems and jobs will be created. Next slide. Women in research. Women in research. My own experience. I kind of already defined who I am, but I would like to say that to strive in entrepreneur as a woman, firstly, you must increase your self-understanding, build effective working practice, understand your strengths, build your weaknesses, and then articulate how you prefer to work. Create a network of researchers that, and then see how you can be funded. And last slide, because I don't have time anymore. Now, you must focus on your SDG goals. And in every SDG goal, life on water, life underwater, climate change, how do you bring in your entrepreneurial prowess into your research and then solve SDG goals? Tackle the most urgent societal challenge. Climate change is very urgent. All right. Turn discoveries into everyday reality, and then keep up with latest research. Transfer the research into real world application and be the best of who you are. Have a wonderful day. Follow your passion. God bless you. Thank you for listening to me.
Oh, what a beauty. That's absolutely fantastic. I mean, folks listening to me, did you ever imagine that an academic researcher is a businessman or businesswoman? I mean, that for me is just mind-blowing. The fact that literature review is tantamount or equivalent to market research. Queeneth says. The fact that a project proposal is similar to a business plan. Queeneth says so. Your idea, I mean, this is just phenomenal. And so it makes a researcher think about themselves a bit differently. The fact that you're not a researcher because you are able to publish a lot of paper. You are a researcher because you are able to articulate problems and provide solutions. Now, that's what I'm talking about. Madam, you deserve an incredible round of applause. That was absolutely phenomenal. Thank you so very much for that expose, really. That's absolutely fantastic. Okay, we're wrapping up now. I'd like us to wrap up with just 2 questions for everyone to engage with. Just very 2 simple questions because of time. We had a few more questions. Because of time, we just asked 2 questions. 1 question from Otlhapile's presentation and 1 from Queeneth's presentation. So let's take them. So if you look at the chat section, you'd see a link to the question. It's a Mentimeter question. Let's go. So the first question very quickly is a bit of a trick question, and Otlhapile asks this really. What do you think is more important, family or career, or it depends? I love this question, I tell you. What do you think is most important? The family, career, or it depends? Now, can somebody who said it depends, one or two persons who said it depends, tell me themselves, who are they? So let me see. Anybody raise up your hands. If you said it depends, I'd like to know why you've chosen. Isn't it just nobody has chosen career? That's a bit strange. Please keep voting. Please keep voting. What do you think is most important? Family or career? Or it depends? I'd like to know what you think, friends. Anybody? Nobody's choosing career. Two people have chosen family. What about in the actual chart? What are people picking? So Ngabo says family. Bertha says both, so that's why she can't choose. Mary says great presentation, Queen, by the way. Georgina says amazing presentation. Bokani says both are important, but not on the equal scale. Yeah. So I wonder, what is the scale then? Gloria, are you on the call? Please, Gloria, why have you chosen it depends? Can I hear from you, madam? Doc. Gloria, why have you chosen it depends, please? Can you unmute yourself and tell us why you've chosen it depends? Could you clarify? Nkatongang says a family needs career to be fully supported. That is true. Mary says they are interdependent, so she can't really choose. Nelly says career first, then family. Whoa, that's interesting. How so? Career first, then family? I'd like to know why you've chosen that. I think Chinwenwe says they complement each other, so she can choose. Bukani says your career supports your livelihood. You earn money that supports your family through career. So in some sense, maybe it's career first, then family, or else no support system. Georgina says both, but family comes first. Very exciting. Okay, good. That's good. So I was hoping I could get reasons why people have chosen to depend, but because of time, I think we can move to the next question.
I thought you wanted me to say something.
Oh yes, yes. Okay, I didn't know you were there, Gloria. Go ahead.
Yes, I'm here.
Let's proceed. Why have you chosen it depends?
If you have a family that are not supportive,
okay,
I think you choose your career if that makes you fulfilled.
Interesting. And that means, does it also mean if you have a career that is not growing, you probably choose family in a sense to help support that career growth? Is that also a possibility?
Not really, because yes, the family is always there. Your career is another thing that makes you to feel like a human being, to feel fulfilled. So you can leave your career because of your family, but if you can carry all of them along, that would be very good. But if you have a family that are not supportive, go for your career and make yourself useful.
Barbara says career first. Sesame says career first. Queeneth says career first because it puts money on the table. I think this is very interesting because it's quite interesting that many people have gone with careers first, but there's also a need for a balance. So Marilyn says there has to be a balance in family and career. I would imagine that some people lose career because of family, the same way some people lose family because of career. And those two situations or scenarios are absolutely possible. So which is why there is need for a balance. If you like both, there has to be a sense of a balance so you don't lose any. Because like Otlhapile was saying earlier, you can have both. And absolutely. You can have family, you can also have career. Maybe not in equal ratios or equal, if you like, equivalents. But that depends on the individual. You deciding why you've chosen that. So I see Nelly's hands is up. So Nelly, could you explain why have you chosen career first as against family? Very, very briefly. We don't have time, please. Nelly, quickly. Hello?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you. Go on, please.
Okay, so quickly, I've chosen career first and then family because career has to do with one's purpose. If you put career to be a job, that's where many women actually miss it because they think career is a job. Career is basically the reason you were born here. And then when you have yourself structured, that is the only way you can give your very best because you are fulfilled with what you were born to do here on earth. Now you can give out in the overflow. And then I would love to also just bring an argument concerning balance. In my research, there is no balance. There's no balance between career and family. What I believe in is anything that you need to do, give it 101%. If you have gone to pursue your career, if you are studying, if you've gone in the marketplace, you leave home at 8 a.m., go and give that job 101%. Give it your very best. When you come home, when you knock off 5 p.m., you are at home. Take off your heels, take off whatever, and give your family, give your husband, give your children 101%. There is no balance. You need just to prioritize. That is my take.
That's interesting. Okay, you know, that's absolutely fantastic insight. I don't want to open up the room because we can probably have a long, big argument till tomorrow. But that's a very powerful impact. So Nelly is saying there is no balance. You have to give 100% on both ways. It's about prioritization and choices. That's fantastic. So now to the last final question, please. And should all researchers be entrepreneurs? Be entrepreneurial? That's interesting. So this is a question coming from Queeneth's presentation. Should all researchers therefore be entrepreneurial? So I notice our view of it depends. I like to know who has chosen it depends. One person who has chosen it depends. So, you know, folks have chosen yes. I can understand why you would say yes. But in terms of it depends. So if you can raise up your hand, if you pick it depends, I want to know who you are and why you've chosen it depends. Should all researchers be entrepreneurial? So Ngabo talks about yes, they should be. Pendukeni says when your career path ends family is what you have left. So it goes with age. Priorities vary with age and maturity. I agree with you. Queeneth says soft skills will help you balance both. I agree with you. Time management will help. I agree with you. Georgina says yes, she agrees with that. After the presentation we just had, I say yes, there's no reason why you can't have both. That's fantastic. And so I think on that note, there's no hands raised up. I want to call this, put this to a close. You guys have been phenomenal. I mean, you've been absolutely incredible. I've had so much fun today. You've done incredible work in participating in your contribution. The speakers have been phenomenal. You've been insightful with perspective and practicalities that I think people have learned from. I've learned from these experiences myself. And so if you want access to a certificate of participation from the RECIRCULATE project, ACTUATE project, please click on the link on the chat. It opens up a short form where you fill your name as you want it to appear on your certificate and also your email so we can send the certificates to you, but also a link of the video of this session in case you want to watch it over again. So please click on the link on the chat and make sure you put in the presentation to get your values to you. It's an absolute pleasure, everybody. Thank you so much for being an incredible audience. I'd probably like to say, because I've had so much fun, it's okay to unmute yourself and everyone should clap. I want to hear the clap before we go. I want to hear the clap. I feel like hearing the clap because it's been fantastic. So please unmute yourself. Alan, could you unmute everybody? And I want to hear the sound of a good clap. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Keep clapping, keep clapping, keep clapping. Keep clapping. Fantastic.
Thank you.
Please subscribe to RECIRCULATE newsletter for future news of future events. Look at the link in the chat and please subscribe to RECIRCULATE newsletter so you are intimated and informed of new webinars, future events, opportunities, workshops, seminars, new funding opportunities. You can be kept up to date. So subscribe to RECIRCULATE newsletters by responding to the message on the chat. On that note, have an incredible week and God bless you all. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.